I mean, I'm ready to play against my boy Max. Like, you know, yeah, like a long year. Me, Ethan as well.
To be able to take down these two last giants,
I think it's gonna be sick. I think it's gonna be all fun. Once the stage hits, like we're shooting back. That's all that matters.
Cutting up his appropriate angles. Paranoia on top of it. Now being offloaded and let rip. But it's a rocket for a rocket and a kill for a kill. Drawing blood! Jorgamo! How are you doing that? Ripping away to hopes and dreams.
It's nice to see Ethan on the stage again against him too, because the last iteration of NRG is when I played him, and that was like the first year of pro Valorant for me.
Ethan is incredible. Max, they've had a brilliant start so far.
Big pressure on this side now. Hunter's Fury going to start ringing out. But Ethan's there, right in the backside. 3. And MIBR are circling the drain here, folks.
Never look back. Never think about what happened before. As long as the team knows that, I think that's the most confident thing we can do.
We're going to put a lot of effort into this next match. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited.
Welcome back to week 4 of VCT Americas and our second match on this Sunday. Stepping into the ring, it's NRG versus Evil Geniuses. That's right, everybody, and joining you right now is me, Geek Heavy, along with Balla and Wyatt. How are we doing in this ring that we just stepped into?
I'm just dying because the ring on the floor over there.
Aw, what happened?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
He stepped into the ring and got knocked out. Got KO'd.
Poor Furia.
I'm super hyped for this next game. I mean,
Yep.
it matters so much. All the implications are crazy based on who wins in this next one, and it's a gigabanger. I mean, the former teammate storyline that we heard a lot about in that little video we saw just then is so interesting to me.
And also, given we just saw EG beat Sentinels, and they're on the crescendo, they're on the way up. I'm excited to see if they can upset NRG.
Yeah, that's right. And this one is actually a bit of a twist because it is indeed a reunion. It's an Evil Geniuses reunion. I don't know if we should like blow confetti or like break out the sausages. I don't know what happens at reunions. I've never had one. Anyways. Well, except for this one, you know, back at kickoffs, yes.
Anyway, back to the proper.
Yes. Now, this is the first time we'll see champions Ethan and Demon 1 face off against Jagamo and Coach Potter.
It's
pretty exciting.
Yeah, Potter's been excited for it. She's been talking about going at Max, Demon 1. I haven't heard much about what Demon 1's thinking about it, but definitely I think those two on EG right now, and everybody on EG, honestly, are probably pretty excited for this opportunity, right? This is them stepping back into it, an opportunity to qualify for playoffs, an opportunity to ruin NRG's hopes at the same time, which I think is pretty exciting for them.
For EG, it is just straight up win, you're through, lose, you're out, no?
Yeah,
I mean, that is essentially the situation, so this is do or die for EG right now. And again, after watching last week how impressive they were, I got a lot of confidence in this team.
Yeah, well, let's see what Ethan has to say about all of this. Riv is standing by with him right now.
I caught Ethan in the practice room. I had a few questions for him. I just want to get your thoughts on playing against your old teammates here in a battle for playoffs.
Yeah, it's just, you know, we're taking it one by one, and like you said, it's a battle for playoffs. So, you know, every game is just another game for us right now.
Back to you.
Woo, okay.
Doesn't even care.
Short but sweet, yeah, you know.
It's like, oh, former teammates, never heard of him.
I mean, again, like, I guess he's never had a reunion just like me. Yeah,
he's had plenty of reunions, bro. That guy's been on NRG like 3 times. Been on EG like 3 times, too. Yeah.
Well, you know, on paper, this definitely is NRG's match to lose, but you can't ever count out Evil Geniuses. Now, we just saw Potter call her shot and take down Sentinels.
Yeah.
You know, and so it is relatively possible that, you know, something similar might happen here.
I mean, we're saying it's theirs to lose, but honestly, this season, I'm not blown away by NRG. Their wins that they've gotten, they beat the fatigued Loud week 1 that had just returned. The other 2 Brazilian teams trounced by Lev. And when you're looking at this, the quality of play that EG brought to the table against Sen last week, obviously the confidence for Potter coming into that was like, I mean, we'll see. And then they just beat them. I really think that, you know, the idea of NRG being, you know, the massive favorites here, I'm not feeling it. I think they have a lot to prove.
Yeah. I think, especially when I think about EG, this is a team I think that is building up their confidence to the roof, right? They're so confident now that they've gotten a couple of reps under the belt and had some success as well, some big wins. That's something I think that is invaluable, especially for a team coached by Potter, right? She's able to instill so much confidence. So more to the fact that, like, you're going to play way above your level. And when you have a big challenge like this, I think when you are firing on all cylinders, that gets very exciting for a team like EG. That prospect is just too good for them, too tantalizing.
Yeah, and the last remaining champion that from 2023, I forgot what year we were in just for a second, is Jogamo. So let's talk about Jogamo. He had a bit of a tough start to stage 1, but he woke up against Sentinels. Like, the Jog was barking.
I'm not even, honestly, I think people were being a little too hard on him with this performance early on in this stage. He was great in Kickoff. I think that his performance was a symptom of wider team struggles, and he was still getting some great entry kills. He was having his moments, but it just wasn't the level we're used to, where he was so dominant with VCT Champions.
I would agree with that, right? Like, I think that his early struggles are probably because he was dealing with a whole new team, trying to get, like, do a lot to get that team involved. But the fact of the matter is he's the star player, right? He is that guy for the team. And if he's not doing what he did against Sentinels, then they're going to lose. And it's just as simple as that, because they don't have as many shooters as they did last year. It's just that simple.
You say that, but
they don't.
I mean,
yes, they don't.
Okay.
They do not have as many shooters as they did last year.
Yeah, obviously, when you look, but that's not to say that the players they do have, when they were playing at the level that they were last week, like Apoth, Nature, they can clearly step up. Like, we've seen a high level of individual play, but yeah, you can't just throw them into the category.
I'm just
obviously
saying,
what they had last
year. If
year.
Jogamo had been playing like a star that he was last year, then EG would have been having a chance in all of their games, but he wasn't, and that's why they're down. I mean, pretty bad. Despite the fact that they still have it in their control, it's just because the rest of the teams in their group are bad too. Like, you know, they haven't won many games.
That is, it is a fact.
True.
You're not lying, you know. But you know, like you said, he is definitely the superstar of the team. But you know what? How about we talk about one of the supermen of the team? Standing by with Superman right now, we got Riv.
I'm in the practice room here with Supermen, up in my evil and my genius a little bit. I had a question. The Sen win last week was huge. What did the team have that you guys weren't clicking with before, and how can you use it today?
Honestly, we had a very slow start and put ourselves in a do-or-die situation. So pretty much going into the last week, I feel like that gave us an edge. We all play better when our backs are against the wall. So hopefully, you know, that will keep us hungry for the win today.
All right. Good luck in the matches.
Now, there honestly isn't any way around this. Evil Geniuses, they need to win if they want a shot at qualifying for playoffs. And if you can't get 2 wins, well, you're out. Like, that's just it. That's just like the fact of the matter. So do we think that they can actually beat NRG?
I mean, remaining 2 games, I think they've got a chance. I mean, the NRG right here, this is it. I think they definitely have a chance. I think Wyatt is spot on when he says I don't think NRG is as heavy of the favorite as I think a lot of people are saying. I would still probably predict NRG on a regular type of basis. Yeah. But I don't know, man. I definitely think they have a big shot here.
Are they the favorites if you're like going on a percentage-based favorite thing?
Right.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But I think EG have a way larger shot than people would assume if you're just looking at the teams on paper and their record up until this point. I think NRG have a lot to prove, especially with their map pool. Right now, it's like the Breeze has been insane, but the rest of the maps that they played so far in this stage, just
a little lackluster.
Yeah, lackluster compared to that Breeze. So, listen, that's one aspect of the game. I think they're going to have to flesh things out, and they could get caught off by just a good pick ban from EG.
Absolutely. And yeah, like we were just discussing, like on the opposite side of things, NRG, they really need to win to stay alive in their very competitive alpha group. Like, everyone is like, they're working on all cylinders there.
Yeah, EG and then 100 Thieves, this is a dangerous stretch. Yeah. I mean, very dangerous. And I think, Wyatt, you were talking about a lot of the teams that they've beaten so far. I mean, all the Brazilian teams up to this point. And they've stumbled, right, against Leviathan. They got just completely demolished. That's, I think, where the fear is coming from right now. But it's just the 2 NA teams left. And I think it's dangerous with those 2 teams picking up some huge momentum down there.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's when they're playing against these teams. EG off the back of a huge win. 100 Thieves, they started losing to Sen. And then they finally broke through that glass ceiling of getting a win. And now they look white hot. Like, this is very dangerous for them. They could go 3-3 if things go awry, if they don't have a better map pool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, things are just really heating up. I think we're just getting started here. Like, I'm not necessarily sure who's gonna win this one, but I want some predictions from the table right now.
Okay.
Balla. This was tough, right? This isn't easy.
I'm gonna say I think EG's got this.
I'm going with EG too. Are NRG the favorite? Yes. But I'm going to go with EG.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Easy clap. Look, I really think NRG, in a lot of senses, they have a couple things that they need to work on, right? I think a little bit of the mid-rounding. You talked about the map pool, but I also think a number of them need to step up individually, right? I think Victor has had moments, but that guy has always had a streak of inconsistency, right? Demon 1, somewhat of a slump. Right? Those are the things I'm kind of banking on coming into this one. I think those factors add up a lot when EG is white hot and potentially fired up to take down this team right now.
Yeah. Balla. I don't know. I'm just kind of, I'm confused right now because I don't know. I'm going to go for NRG. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm just going to do it, Balla.
That's fine.
I'm going for NRG. I have to. Someone has to. I got to be the person that's going to be on the opposite side of the fence. But you know what? We're going to toss things over to the stage because I think it's time to get things started.
Riot Games Arena, let's kick off this NA showdown and welcome our first team. Make some noise for NRG! And let's bring out their opponent. Give it up for Evil Geniuses!
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep the energy going for NRG. I'm sorry, I gotta stick with my guys.
Listen, it's the reasonable pick. It is the reasonable pick.
Is it the safe pick though?
Yes,
okay.
It's definitely the safe pick, without a doubt, on paper. But it's just for me the way that this stage has played out of the past couple weeks. It's the NRG just being lost against Lev.
I just love watching the pre-game huddles from EG on this side. Like, they're walking out, you know, Potter comes out, and then all of a sudden, all the hesitation, the frowns, the nervousness just melts away. Everybody starts laughing, having a good time.
Dissipates, and I love
Everybody's got a little special handshake going out there. I will tell you, he looks hungry. He looks hungry. That dog looks hungry. And he's on the other side of the stage against his former teammates, Ethan and Demon 1. I think this guy's going to fry today.
Now, looking at the map pool, EG, they're going to take out Breeze. That's been NRG's clear best map. So they're going to pick into Ascent, which we actually haven't seen them play so far in this stage. Last we saw them on it, it was against Sen in the qualifying game back for Madrid, where they kind of washed Sen, and Ethan went crazy in that game. I think he dropped 27 on the KO to bring him over the finish line. So this could be the second kind of home map for NRG. We just haven't actually seen them have to play at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, historically, this team has been so good, right? Even back to the old iterations of with Marv on the Optic roster, even back last year. It's a home ground for NRG, and yeah, it's been weird seeing them not really rely on it this season. And here they are in a very critical match, relying on it right here in the first one. This is going to be super interesting to see how it plays out.
Absolutely, and I think it'll be very cool to see what's going to happen here with a lot of the mid-round calling, because against Lev, that was a struggle point for NRG. Going up against Nature, one of the new IGLs here in VCT Americas, debuted this year with EG, was someone that a lot of teams had their eyes on, had a few different options. People were interested in him. And
that matchup is interesting. Ethan versus Nature.
Yeah.
That is very interesting. I think two inexperienced IGLs. Ethan, obviously, a wealth of experience to pull from, but in terms of actually IGLing, that's something that I think Nature is maybe evenly matched so far in this
Certainly could be. And on Ascent here with both teams, presumably, as they did previously, just playing the default Ascent comp. So it's going to be a significant battle between those guys. How they can play out the mid-rounds, the calling is going to be huge.
This map is going to be so incredibly proactive from both sides. You're going to see reclears constantly on either side. It's going to be super interesting to see who's going to be faster to react to situations that arise on this map.
Well, you know what? Let's see how the reunion goes. We're going to get right into it with this one and send things over to your casters. Say hello to Bryn and Sideshow.
Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, great setup here for this match. I mean, expectations a bit topsy-turvy, I think. You can tell that from the Death's predictions. You know, they're saying they don't necessarily think EG will be the favorites, but they're predding them to win it. And, you know, I can see the arguments here, to be honest. They're a team that have said that they play better when their backs are up against the wall. It's their last chance to really make playoffs as well, really. The percentages are in the double digits for EG. They know they have to beat NRG, and it's an NRG that have quite a bit to prove.
They do. It's not looked amazing for them recently. They clocked in and got their 3 wins against the Brazilian teams, and then it was struggles. The most recent game as well, Chet wasn't particularly happy even with the win that they ended up getting. And there are things on the line here. NRG need a 2-0 to clinch. An NRG win with any score would put 100 Thieves and crew through to playoffs and would eliminate Sen and EG. So from NRG's perspective, tons to play for and a must-win game for Evil Geniuses.
We'll see how this one begins. With Crash, he's going to send drone forward, setting up Demon 1 into that nice forward approach. This is comfortable ground for him, really. Loves to be put into these forward positions where he can really take advantage.
Yeah, one of the ways in which EG themselves used Demon 1 on the attack side of this map was inserting him deep into spots like this, over towards Market, and then running a B exec where he dashed over to switch. Oh, and Sean, he's read it and shut down his counterpart.
As soon as the alarm bot was broken, still looks like NRG don't want to slow down this hit, but still anchoring players to deal with. Apop blind as a bat, and Derek dealt with towards the back. So an open plant now for them. NRG being able to get themselves into that post plant, but they've already lost control of the front section of the site. This is a fast re-clear, but Jorgamo, Nature right behind him, not too much util, but he spots out the shoulder, a couple of stray shots, not really doing the job.
It's actually the paranoia on Marved I'm looking at.
He's still holding it. As soon as they collect that contact, and he's going to send it flying, so it pushes them back for but a moment. Enough damage done, softening up all the targets. NRG walking away with a nice and easy one there, despite losing Demon 1 in mid.
And then that showcases how NRG are still going to be able to win some of these rounds, even if a piece of the puzzle goes wrong. That was essentially the exact same strat they were going to run anyway. They just ran it without the jet. All 4 of the players spilling out through main, and Ethan doing a great job at holding down lane there in the post. So they get 2 rifles, 2 bulldogs online here early. And I am going to be paying serious attention to NRG's macro calling, because I think that was what let them down the most in the game against Leviathan. And we've seen EG before cook up some really interesting strats. And antis.
Yep, counter strat. Anti-plays here. I mean, the drone getting the tag, but a spam damage, no kill to be claimed on Superman. But yeah, close attention paid, I think, to NRG. How to play in this one. Ethan, of course, you know, he's a very experienced player, but quite new to the IGL role when he stepped up onto this stage. And maybe that's where we're seeing evidence of those gaps.
And I actually think NRG have looked really good on defense rounds on a lot of their maps. But it's the attack side calling where I think there is a little bit of an experience differential right now.
Slow and steady for NRG, though. They don't want to run themselves into any stack of players. They've got a lot of acknowledgement of EG just loitering around the A site. 50 seconds onto the mark into this round. You've got to start making decisions soon.
And EG do seem to be guessing the correct site here. This is another situation where the clock starts to run down and NRG are grouped up heading into the stronger site, but it's only classics on the other side. How bad can it really get?
There really shouldn't be much danger.
3 players spotted with that knife, but there's only 30 seconds in NRG. They can't really pivot.
And Jorgamo pre-aiming for the dart position here. A couple of shots now fired into the smoke. They realize.
Why am I already worried?
Yeah, I mean, this one stacking all the players dash forwards into the smoke and dominating the position. Steam1, who's just going to be leading the charge for his team. They are lit up. Util is nice for him, but Jorgo now stuck into this dice position. Time, 12 seconds. Got to deal with these players. Got to get the spike down or just kill them all. Why not?
Gun here.
And a very nice pause there. Stopping the scaling on on A, so that they could just hold angles and punish the EG players that were looking to try to play off Jorgamo. And I like that. There was a pause there in the middle of the exec to allow a little more control into things. So even though Ethan knew they were running into 3 players on A, and even though they decided to commit to that, they had that little pump of the brakes in the round that allowed them to escape fairly unscathed. Not overstressing the economy, and NRG all bunched up towards B to start.
Ethan 2 away as well from his ult with the no command. I'll be looking to grab the orb. Easily accessible. Flash. The dash. It's all going to be combined up to push these players away, along with that dart that's not actually taken care of, but Demon1 will just go down to the spam. Isolated, I believe, from a bit of that util at the choke, and his team wasn't following up. Jorgamo still here. Trying to find that value with the dash active. Of course, he is suppressed, so unable to use too much in terms of the wave abilities.
The NRG game against Leviathan. People were looking at Demon1's stats at the end. He went 2 and 15 in first kills to first deaths, and they're like, Demon1, he's tragic on the entries. Entries like this have been Demon1's reality recently, where he goes in, and he's just getting annihilated inside his own cloud bursts. It's unfortunate, and it's set NRG up in another 4v5.
Definitely going to see that. Duelist players having poor performances if the setup isn't quite there. Victor.
Good awareness from Apoth. Victor dodged the recon, and Apoth still clears it.
Walkabouts all over the place here. Ethan seeking advantages. Pop flash underhanded.
1 enemy remaining.
And that will seal it up. So the bonus round, not too much damage really being done by NRG. Here's EG. Put their 1 onto the board.
And we actually saw Apoth there push all the way out of B main. Re-clearing that space as soon as he got the pick onto Victor, realizing that Victor would not be playing with all the rest of the squad. Yeah, I mean, what is that? The punish there, the first death onto Demon1. And then Apoth swings around, pushes tiles to kill Crashies and Marved. Nasty stuff. Was there much damage done? Not really on an economical side, but it did get up this null command. And so, we're going to see any kind of anti-KOL setup?
Apoth is...
he's pretty committed to B.
Yeah, he's very committed over towards B, so they did choose to go for a fast play. Could have been in trouble, but it's slow and steady again. Same play that we saw towards the pistol round, just a drone going to be committed deep into mid. Last time they set up Demon1, he's not there this time.
And look at this. This is 2 rounds in a row now that Derek has sent a recon dart from lane on B over to Cat for a mid player to play off. It's a cool idea, but he's used it twice now, and NRG is starting to get the idea of where it's coming from and what its purpose is. And they're walking down Cat now.
Nano Swarm sent flying here for Superman as well to take up that space into main. Didn't actually clear this alarm bot. Not a little matter with the amount of players up forwards. It will get broken at the end of the day, but it's a player disadvantage that NRG are staring at. And I have to offset that.
With Marv's death in A main, I think the read here is fairly obvious that they're going into a B split.
This flash is supportive util. I want to play off of it. A couple of sound cues being made as a high-low setup. NRG. 1 kill claimed.
30 seconds left.
Dart rebounds just as the ult is sent flying, dashing forwards into the smoke as well, revealed. All to be seen. Apoth. I'll give it a clean up. So much more. This guy just on fire right now. Again, that supportive util, and their movement is just excellency.
Is this the best? My ultimate is ready.
We were asking who's going to step up for EG. The desk was saying it as well. Are they white hot? Do they have the fraggers? It was Apoth and Jorgamo who went absolutely bonkers in the game against Sentinels. And Apoth is starting out this map looking like he's in the exact same form and having the exact same confidence to go for these plays.
Copy again, baby! Come on now!
I love the fact that he's got that. But also Marv dying over in A main, it just ruins things for NRG. No smokes to go for a B split. That is so difficult. You're open to the angle deep mid. You're open to the spawn angle as well once you commit to sight. And this map, it does trend defense-sided. NRG are going to be looking to get into good positions to put the occasional round on the board, not dominate the half.
Heavy damage here from the Shockies. Demon one knocked down. You're right, it's going to take some real miracle moments, I think, from the NRG players, just with the Sheriffs in hands. Marved postured his way into A main there, so he's been holding on to control of this since the beginning of the round, pretty much. Now he's going to set course for the rest of his team to join him.
And I quite like the fact that Marved hasn't been conditioned to fear A main after he just got run down in the previous round. He's going to need that space on the map. And whether that comes with a teammate helping him out or just taking it on his own.
Superman and Nature going to be feeling the heat. Forwards with the flash.
What a commitment.
And a peek is a hard commitment. EG just sending all the bodies flying just from that one flash. Full confidence as well to disrupt that NRG play.
Victor's finding a nice timing, but in a 5v2, there shouldn't really be anything that he can do there. Although that will give him some little piece of information that maybe they can play with in future rounds. We've seen teams cook up attack side XX on A where you make it feel like everybody's coming from A main and then lurk a player through, whether that be Demon 1 or Victor, through Catwalk. But EG get up to 3.
And this is an EG squad that are just, I mean, feeling empowered, I think, off the back of the Sentinels win. Even in that game, they said it, you know, win or lose, we didn't care at the time, which I find especially funny. But I think it removes a certain level of pressure from EG's shoulders when all the expectations are placed onto your opponents, especially NRG, where they're the ones with something to prove, and unfortunately couldn't avoid it.
The technical pause. Well, let's talk Ascent a little bit, because the map pool for this match, it's an unusual one. It's a map pool that's weird for NRG this whole year, actually. If you forgot what was happening during Kickoff, you could be forgiven for thinking that NRG only have one map that they're good at, which is Breeze.
Yeah.
And they've just been kind of struggling their way through the rest. But they've been trying to play Ascent all stage, and teams have been banning it against them. So actually, NRG's map pool is at least 2 maps that they're good on. Breeze, which EG permabanned, and Ascent, which they got in here. But then once we get onto Lotus and Sunset, those are maps where we've seen some dodginess from NRG, sometimes in the macro.
Yeah.
We haven't actually seen Lotus, I should correct myself, from NRG all year. With this roster, they just haven't played it. So it's really difficult to know what to expect. But we're back into this, and it's a round where NRG have a decent chance to win, especially with that Blade Storm on Demon 1.
Some interesting conditioning there. I mean, EG, they send flying a flash and a dart, but no follow-up after it. Normally, you'd be seeing like an updraft dash into that smoke.
I guarantee they're going to follow it up in one of these rounds. Like a TP into the one-way or something like that to capitalize. They're just trying to condition NRG that it's all safe. Don't worry about the recon.
But it's getting real dangerous here. It might even be a little bit scrappy. Too much to overcome. There was no exit strategy in the back of his mind. Superman gonna let loose the one smoke. The nade follow through. Updraft with the knives. No one really ready for it. Nature, though, will respond, following through, all with the spray. Only claiming 2.
The rest of NRG should have been able to get the trade kill there onto Nature early on. And now APOC with the ultimate. And Ethan is so perilously weak. Do you even commit the Hunter's Fury? They are going to.
Yeah, they're going to. They want to see if they can win this one round. And everyone does count at the end of the day here in Ascent, to leave it just out of crashes. Shot dart to clear the way. Maybe you can get onto the angle, but it's already been stuck all the way here by APOC. And the dodging and the juking. EG not leaving any easy fights open here for NRG. They're leading the charge. 4-2 so far in the map.
Same game plan working for EG. Fight aggressively on the outsides of the map, the extremities. We've seen Marv die in A main. We've seen Victor get bullied here in B main as well. And then when Demon 1 gets the entry, why is there no immediate follow-up? It was already after the fragment grenade was popped. You clearly know the timing that Demon 1's going to go for that. But they couldn't really cleanly get through Nature holding down that choke point. And a timeout being called here for NRG. They're on an eco. And normally coming out of this, they like to change things up. There's a serious pattern with these Chet timeouts that once he takes them, for the next rifle round at least, they have a different idea that they go for. I think they've got to adjust to the fact that EG are playing so aggressively for the opposite sides of the map.
Yeah.
You know, they're really trying to flush out these defaulters that are just holding space on the opposite side to their squad. And they can't be affording to lose Marv and Victor that early on.
See if there's a tempo increase on the back of the timeout, especially into the rifle round.
And just look at the scoreboard. The people involved in the 1-3-1 default, the 3 of Ethan, Demon 1, and Crashies, yeah, they're getting their kills. And then the 1s on either side of the map, 1 and 5, 1 and 4, just kind of getting bullied right now.
All the pieces. NRG might be looking to call a faster hit, though, into this site. Definitely setting up for it. I mean, this is going to be Nanoswarm that I think lands into logs. The deep knife doesn't get broken, I believe, in time here. So it has going to stunt this push.
They weren't banking on that, I don't think. Normally, Nature's going to be positioned over towards A, throwing that knife for the A main hit. You know, that's the most standard way that most teams are playing it. So the fact it's exactly there to stop that B main push is perfect adaptation for EG.
Even a little flash re-clear. Apoff Telly wants to go for something like this one. They already know there's a player tucked into the bottom section of mid. That's Demon 1 right there. It's a double face. I'm just trying to take this one without any util to give away the timings, but 1 for 1. Apoff cuts it up close now to the corner. There is danger in this round, but maybe Derek can
Spike down,
earn his merit in this moment, standing down his ground with the Nanoswarms to cut up some of the angles. NRG getting a move on now. Flood him into the site. Derek, though, he's got that stalwart position out towards the back, and he's the last bastion of defense. The only necessary one, really, for EG here.
So after NRG's game plan of the fast B main hit gets stopped instantly by that 0 point from Nature, now, after the timeout from Chet, what did they cook up for this rifle round? They've got to start getting some attack rounds on the board. It's a defense-sided map, and it's NRG's pick. They're going to feel confident on defense, but you want a buffer. You need the buffer. Yeah. We saw that with Sentinels when they're playing on Lotus. Doesn't matter how good you are on one side of the map, you still need to make sure you're putting up at least some rounds on your unfavored half.
There's a play. Flash with the dart.
I like this from EG. They're trying to be disruptive against what NRG would have called after the timeout.
Exactly. Taking matters into their own hands. It's something that they did really well, actually, against Loud in Kickoff. Making sure that they throw a lot of those plays into it, slow down the round to the attacking team, add in that hesitancy.
This is the same pressure that Victor was facing a couple rounds ago, where it's Jorg and Apoth fighting him for all of that space. But he's not really calling for assistance. They're just ceding B main control to the defense.
They're spotting the 1. ADS crouched up. Angles on lockdown here, but Demon 1, like you might want to take the face into it. This one-way smoke was very well timed. Almost just immediately sensing that pressure, possibly off Derek getting smoked off from the angle.
And look at that.
Past it.
Derek was only going to commit the recon dart there if the knife had seen something. Nature calls, it's all clear. So the recon dart is saved for later on. There's 35 seconds here. Where are NRG going?
There's just no options. NRG haven't created any space, haven't got any space onto the map this entire time. Not even the alarm bot being removed. And so they're going to have to go for a bit of a mad dash now and scramble into these players. Doubled up Superman alongside it. Derek, he's going to provide that cover and fire. Just a hail of lead that's going to be raining down onto them, but NRG do get access eventually to the site. Barely with any time left. Hunter's Fury. One connection follow through. Can't quite claim the second kill, but they all line up. Derek! It's a masterpiece in motion. And now surely set up for the EG win onto the retake. Marved, Iceman stands his ground, repositioned down into hell, but it's just being assailed from the position. Victor from the side, cleaned up with the trade. EG, they're in complete control.
And while it looks excellent from EG, I'm left asking the same questions I was when we saw NRG on their attack sides in their last 2 matches. What on earth are they doing with the first minute of the round? They're not forcing out defensive utility. They didn't even force out that recon that I was talking about because the knife had already detected there was no one there. They still had so many other pieces of utility left for the defenders because they're not quick at taking map control at the beginning. That alarm bot stayed up the entire time. They didn't pressure Cat heavily enough. They're not taking B main control.
They're not, no. And the decision making, like I said, that hesitancy being added in because EG were playing proactively. When they go for the Odin spam, it forces NRG to slow down the initial moments of that round.
Yeah.
But they have an idea of what they want to do. They want to take mid control, sure, but when EG throw in these little mixture plays that are going to punish them, either on the extremities or in mid, here we go, it's fast though. Onto the half by that is a bit of a beef by Mart. I think he's trying to TP into his own smoke. Jorgamo ripping him to shreds right now with the outlaw buy. Heads up, knowing that the economy is going to be weak. Team in one, though. Surely not. No! Taken out. Bladestorm, refreshed, but not even necessary.
Jorg is absolutely slapping down the entirety of NRG, but the two players that he played with last year and won a championship with. He's just dunking on him.
That's just, I mean, so heads up by Jorg again.
Yeah.
I say so heads up. He holds tab and sees the money situation and buys the outlaw.
Yeah.
But I love it because it just shows those extra elements are being taken into account by EG with their game plans.
Absolutely. So we come in again, and NRG, they have ults to work with. We need to see the game plan online, but it's that Odin in B main denying a little bit of space. And then the operator, too, from Jorgamo in mid.
One suppressed.
All right, this is earlier, more aggressive takes of A main. They've also got some idea that they're not fighting as aggressively over B main this round. The defensive setup has shifted, and it's afforded NRG a little more space on the outsides of the map. But they've now got to figure out, in what way has it shifted? Where is the threat now then?
And he might just go for a B hit here with the null command. Ethan's got it. The thing is, Apoth is, I mean, he's tucked into this one and done position at Pizza, but I don't know if he's going to be out of range. He might be.
He's at least going to be able to pop the nanoswarms in time here, I think. I mean, there's one.
Yeah, just one from the drone in case they follow through with it. Locked down. Anything to remove this. Slight spacing and a gap in towards the back of the side, but Derek is not going to be playing towards it. He's going to be backing away. Nanoswarm will land, clearing through with a util.
Demon 1 is so much further forwards. He knows that the site is free because of the lockdown, but that's allowed NRG to keep two players completely off site for the post-ban. It does look like a nice setup.
Victor, this guy's heard all the sound cues he needs to know right now to really do some serious damage. Hunter's Fury delaying crashes, just trying to buy time for that win con that is Victor. Right from behind with the backstab now. It's been watched for! What is that awareness? EG! They're tearing NRG to pieces. Picking up the weapons. I mean, one player backside. What can you really do? Crashes, got to overcome a mountain of obstacles.
And they've got plenty of time here to close this one out. That looked like such a lovely post-plant setup there for NRG. They had a player B main, a player on the post-plant flank, three players on site ready to hold things back, and EG single-mindedly focused forwards. They've now won every single round since the pistol and the follow-up. And look at that. I mean, the read on where Victor's coming from is just, it feels almost too easy. The timing of it, it's not quite working.
Nice! Let's go, boys!
And the retake.
Too simple for EG right now. And NRG take their second timeout. This is their map pick. When I was talking about their map pool earlier on, NRG looked great on Breeze. No qualms there with the way that they play. Their Ascent, we haven't seen it in the last 4 matches that they've played. They're 3-0 on it this year, but they're getting stomped right now. Yeah, and if they can't win on Ascent, they've only got one map in their pool that they can rely on. And this team is 3-1, looking in this match to maybe lock up their spot in playoffs. Now, they would have to shift things around here because they need that 2-0 to clinch.
Yeah, they did 2-0. Of course, maybe a win does make it slightly easier for them later down the line, but this is an EG squad that realized that they've got to step up. They need the win here against NRG. You know, you're looking at the wider schedule for EG and you're thinking, it's wraps, man. They got Sentinels and NRG for their last 2 matches, but they get over the big one, which was Sentinels, and then they look towards NRG, and they've been looking a little bit shaky. Yeah. A lot to prove, like we've been mentioning on their attack size, the overall macro calling, you know, the map pools. And so far, those questions, I mean, we're getting answers, but it might not be the answers you want if you're an NRG fan.
I do like the idea that NRG are using more utility early round to take map control, because I think it's also going to force util out of EG, or they're just going to lose space. But I don't think they have to full commit.
We're just sticking the full all here. There's no util to set this one up. They don't know where these players are. Jorgamo's making a mockery of the situation right now, and it's all combined. The crossfire setup, any sort of fast play, thrown out the window.
It's like there's no variation in tempo apart from very slow or a rush for EG. And I think, sorry, for NRG. And I think that's got to be something that they look to work on. make the playoffs or no. Because their attack side calling, it's like either they are full sending it, or they're so slow in the first minute that they're not really achieving their wider goals to set them up for success.
Yeah.
The buy is terrible heading into round 12.
I mean, Jorgamo again, he knows it. He's picked up the Outlaw, just particularly for this purchase. I mean, he has enough money to buy the Operator. He's probably got it sitting nearby. I mean, he had it in the prior round.
It's only Ethan with full armor.
Yeah. We're looking to put it to work. Flash over the top. Nanostorm's dropped. NRG again, they're trying to get a move on here. Fast this util. It's all overwhelming here. But Demon One, he was blinded up himself. He was supportive util or not. Again, I mean, it just... When you only have one direction, one speed you're going to go into, of course EG are going to dismantle you.
This is a nightmare for NRG on their map pick, but EG looking awesome. Every strat that NRG threw at them, they easily dismantled. There really was not a problem whatsoever.
I mean, NRG only winning the pistol and the follow-up, losing every other round after it.
These hits are so one-dimensional.
Yeah.
They did. I don't think they tried an A-split once or some kind of disguised play.
Yeah, EG though, entirely on fire, man. I mean, let's hear from Jorgamo and learn why he's not worried about EG's slow start in 2024.
It took us a little bit to, get where we're at. I took a few losses, that's how it is sometimes. The confidence got boosted for sure. We're back at full throttle, of course, and like we're down 0-3, but that's probably like the same thing as last year. We're down 0-4, even worse, So I think that confidence of like not caring and just coming back to that level of like, oh, we can compete, feels great.
I think that's been on display, to be honest. I think that you can definitely see that in their gameplay. Ever since they've turned that hurdle that was Sentinels, and it's all just been clicking for them, this team's got confidence again. Jorgamo's frying has been set up. The supportive util of EG has been impeccable.
Absolutely. I mean, everything is working for them. And I think NRG probably have a very good defense side on Ascent. But we're probably not going to see very much of it because the score is 10-2. They didn't do enough work of actually giving themselves that buffer zone. They would have to play with practically perfection here to have any chance of mounting a comeback. And it was EG that got the 10-2 comeback against Sentinels. Of course, after throwing away the 9-3 lead in map 1. But hey, we won't talk about that. This is a wild one. As good as EG are, I just keep going back to it. It feels like the same stuff over and over from NRG's attack side calling, is that they don't have enough variation in the tempo, and they're also not doing enough when they go for those defaulting slower rounds.
Yeah.
And my big question coming into this match was, are NRG a legit team? Or did they just beat up on the Brazilian teams when they were, coming back from Belfast and a little jet lagged, or the other squads that had not put it together yet? Chet was agreeing that their win against MIBR most recently still didn't look that convincing. That's their coach that said they still had stuff that they really needed to work on. And here, I mean, Potter and Jorg are just annihilating the opposite side of that former EG core.
Yeah, the former teammates they know incredibly well, and a championship title with them. EG here with the pistol round. Like you said, we haven't really going to get the chance to see much of NRG's defensive sides. They haven't really earned themselves enough.
Already, EG look like they're set up for a really nice play here, where it feels like a lot of it's...
And the first kill going away of Apoff in mid.
Apoff's just been on fire recently.
They've gone forwards here. Apoff is eventually going to get cleaned up. Smokes drop down here. Superman's worried about the re-flank.
Yeah, this pistol round, though, it was supposed to feel like an A split, but a lot of the players going through A main, and then Superman just stays for the backstab.
Oh, Superman hears the reload. He hears the door being broken. Out wide are all these players. Missing a few shots. But Jorgamo, he's cleaning up the necessary elements, making sure that he's still active into this fight. And what a core by EG. I mean, dominating the smoke, taking up that position, overpowering the tree fight, just as NRG are flooding through. They have to worry about multiple directions, and they are overcoming the odds.
NRG, they held strong, won their gunfights, and stopped Evil Geniuses from running away with this one. A desperate pistol round win there, when I think EG actually played the better idea of how they wanted to. But listen, at the end of the game, at the end of the day, it's a gun game.
It is a gun game. You get shot, you die.
Yeah, and NRG held on there. Those players flooding from heaven to generator, winning those fights. You can see how confident Apoth is getting that first kill. And the right click's just working perfectly for Ethan.
Yeah, blessed towards the end of a bit of that NRG.
What?
Classic just failed you so hard. Where'd my balls go, bro?
Even there in disbelief. I mean, it did take a bit of the luck to swing things in the favor.
But that's pistol rounds, isn't it?
That is, yeah.
That's how they go sometimes. NRG using that classic setup. We actually saw EG running this exact same kind of bait and switch with their players over towards A. Demon One, though, opting for the Guardian rather than the Outlaw.
Knife dodged. EG, obviously on their eco round here, will just look to do some damage.
But again,
the orbs if they can.
EG are making it feel like there's a lot of pressure in B main while they timing the knife and take A main control. Like, it just, the ideas make more sense from EG on the attack side, even though they're running with pistols here.
Well, here's one of the easier tests. Hold back the push for the site. Everybody will fall here from EG. They'll be looking to get a plant down at least. A bit of extra money to work with. Which Nature, okay, completed his goal. He can go down with a ship.
And a good cleanup. Easy stuff. No drama. All weapons kept for NRG. There is a serious chance that NRG can make this much, much closer than it looks. But can they actually pull it all the way back? That's where I'm doubting a little bit, just because of how dominant that first half was. Not a single round out of the pistol and follow-up. One for them on the attack side.
Yeah.
It's going to be one hell of a climb back.
But these are players with mountains of experience. I'm sure they've been into these spots before. Many a time they know that it's possible. Got to put it together one round at a time.
A round like this would be a huge one. And it looks like they're going to try to set something up. Is this a flash peek for Demon One to try to get aggressive with some spam perhaps from Crashies?
And Crashies will support it, won't it? Fire down the bullets, open up the line of sight angle. And one back off of it, so rebound flash. Deep dart. Bouncing back, and it's a cool angle. Trying to hit the wallbang there into the players and tiles. Joggermo getting dropped down to 5 HP. He's forwards though. This guy, relentless. It's not shying away from any sort of aggression. In fact, dashing all the way forwards. He's cut this up. Ethan, it's a miracle that he even got the two. Crashies is in the middle of nowhere, out wide. And so he will fall, toppled. Nature though, aiming for the gun and just ends up falling for it and paying for it.
Kind of a sick round from both teams, actually.
Yeah.
NRG do a great job of coming away with the win, though. Ethan Crashies providing that solid backbone for the rest of the team. But EG had a recon dart onto Demon One, who was fighting, and then wallbanged through B main. Sick idea. But they just couldn't quite get through here. Ethan being able to pick up 2 of the Spectre is massive. And that's the round they need to start a little bit of momentum.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Ascent is very defense-sided. Usually teams, though, are still able to pick up a few rounds. And EG's ideas so far have still been good. They just haven't been good enough to get through NRG. These NRG players are, I think, really excellent ideas on their defense. I've never been bothered about that the whole time that we've seen them this year. The defense side on Breeze, on Ascent. On a bunch of their other maps, too, just seems well-coordinated, good ideas.
Timeout here for EG. Still have a few more banked as well. I mean, NRG actually ended up using both of theirs within the first half, which you can't blame them when you're staring down, what, the 10-2 scoreline.
No. But an opportunity like this for Chet to chime in, sorry.
Yeah.
That's useful.
It's going to be valuable.
Very useful. It can get lonely out there trying to run a comeback like this with no opportunity for the coach to have input. We might see them mix things up a little. On the bye, we've got Crashies and Ethan both running Odins. Now, it was actually EG the only time we've seen them play Ascent this year who were running double Odin strats against Loud as part of a serious anti-strat they were going for.
Let's see what usage these ones get. Demon One. Zern took that operator. Starting to pluck apart the targets across the map here for EG. They use a bit of that util. Shock darts flying forwards and a lot of damage done. Look at that. It's Derek trying to aim to take him out of the drone.
Yeah.
The counterpart, at least, with a shock dart.
Not
Doesn't work.
quite
It's
finding
cheeky.
it there. The fact that Demon One, though, has this up online, that's the kind of momentum changer, or rather momentum accelerator, I suppose you could say, that NRG are going to be looking for to close this 5-round lead that EG have. Once you have the up online, you can leave certain angles to Demon One and just kind of post him up around the map. I feel really confident he's going to be able to hold them.
Would you go for the cut noise re-hits forwards? Jorgamo is going to be really isolated away from the rest of his team. Updraft's over the available angle. Ethan spraying it through. Crashies as well. Just evading capture in the sideline. All with the wraparound. So, again, NRG, they just get over that easy round. Of course, it was a weaker buy of EG.
Victor got caught a little bit. So if EG run the same strategy with rifles online, Victor will have to adjust his positioning. He got caught by a fragment grenade and then a recon dart that came in over the top. Set up Jorg for the entry.
Yeah.
But okay, Potter took a timeout to try to get this round coming up over the line. So what is she cooking?
Nature's got the ult. Plenty of chances and opportunities. Knife cross map by Ethan. Landed somewhere. Demon One though lit up. Barely able to get out of there. I mean, taking a bit of damage in the process.
Both Demon One and Victor taking risks at the start of the round. Victor threw an aggressive nanoswarm, so they know the killjoys B.
Demon One could get a bit more aggression now onto this angle. He still has the dash! What's going on there? How are these kills being found? Jorgamo! Oh my! This guy's forwards now with the pace that he's taking this at. He's forcing out the ultimates, and NRG looking to really just salvage this operation. But they all go wide at the Hunter's Fury shots. It's a free plant for Derek.
This is the round that EG were looking for, to try to creep things closer to that mark of 13. They've got a massive player advantage.
I'm sure what the read potentially was here for him. Victor, he's so worried about a backstab occurring just from mid. He knows that Apoph's going to be lurking around that position. Door finally broke him. But a smoke already propped up. Crashies.
Placing sentry. Destroyed.
Just praying away there with a spray. But yeah, this is... Got to call it quits. Wrap it up here. So EG finding themselves up to that 11th round.
I want to take a look at the replay of this round as well. They're going to try to deny the operator. We'll see whether Crashies and Victor can hold on to it. But I think it was the up barrel that might have been peeking around the corner there that led to those ridiculous openings by Jorgamo. Can he survive? Can Victor keep this?
He needs to hold on to it.
He's got it.
Yeah, barely.
Yeah, I have a sneaking suspicion that Demon One's kind of reluctance to give up the angle over towards Cat, and in fact is kind of inching forwards. Has he seen anything?
What did
no,
he see?
It's
No,
just
it's
a prediction.
just a prediction.
Oh, what a read! What a read
Just
with the
a
Guardian
prediction.
as well. What a great usage of a non-standard weapon in that spot.
Very cool ideas.
One suppressed.
Just 2 more rounds needed for EG. Wrap up this first map. NRG, though, still with plenty of money in the bank. They can put up a bit of a fight for quite some time.
But look at the way that they're giving EG control of B main and A main. Yeah, the drone is coming through now, but there isn't really any pressure behind it. Demon One's on a really passive angle, all the way towards back heaven. Compared to the way that NRG were taking map control and the way that EG were fighting for it, this is much more passive.
Not intended. He's trying to break the alarm bot.
He's trying to break the alarm bot that's behind him, yeah.
Taken out of the drone, though, with that damage done from the shocky. Dart, flash, reclear, beautifully called. NRG got to mix things up like that, and it does disrupt this process by EG.
Standing ahead.
Looks like you want to go fast, though. Injection of that pace. Hunter's Fury trying to clear the way into the back of the site, but there's too many angles to really account for here. And EG aren't going to be able to get too much done. In fact, Jorgamo wants to take it in a far more different direction. Can hit the transfer. Demon One. Nasty reactions, even getting his ally back up onto his feet. Flanking attempt up and around Superman as he brought them an opening. He cracked open his side of the map and already calling for the pivot.
Yeah, it was a great call by Superman. They cancelled that B hit really early on. And with him being able to find the pick, there is just enough time to pivot to the egg site and still have this in a decent chance for EG to win.
Superman needs more, though. Needs way more than that! What's going on there? How the hell is he getting away with it? And they're just flooding the defenses. Any sense of a retake?
Were they trying to sync up some kind of updraft double swing? That was so poorly coordinated from NRG on the fly. What a fumble!
Yeah.
They've let this one slide so far out of their hands. Almost impossible for Crashies to recover this. And while the economy is going to be good, this is going to put EG up on map point when it was NRG's pick.
It comes back to that question that we were asking, you know, how many rounds you really need. Even though the map is defense-sided.
Need more than two.
We were throwing up, you know, saying that NRG, they don't have enough, really, arguably. And you can see why now with EG up to that 12th round. One more will do it. Across the threshold.
Match point. That's such a sick lurk by Superman, though.
It is, yeah.
He gets his way all deep into the tree and insta-calls that cancel of the B push. Oh, where EG were not having too much success with it. Great kill onto Marv. And then what?
No way!
That's an amazing pre-fire shot onto Demon 1. But it was badly coordinated from NRG in general, though. Demon 1 had gone for an updraft as Ethan swung, so that's why he was so much later and gave Superman the time to reset his aim.
Get out of my way!
It's got to be stopped right here and now in the tracks. If you're NRG, smoke. Covering his teammates, that's away from the dart.
Bait and switch setup.
Yeah,
trying to make it seem like the Opera has retreated when in fact you've inserted the Killjoy in that spot.
He missed the drone? I believe it, a shot didn't clear him though. Didn't clear him into the corner. So Victor does get the volley that was intended for him. It's going to be pushed back and away. Ethan also feeling the heat. It's been turned up. Wild now display. Jorgamo with the bucket in his hand. He's even dodged the flash. APM off the bloody charts from this guy. And now wants to pave the way. Committing one of the blades. We're moving away from that dart. Nades flying through and forwards. This is a site that's going to be gained now for them. And they're already getting that plant down. Demon 1. Take matters into your own hands here. A chance to really wrangle back Fate and control. Crashies with the firing line. Making sure that nobody can really take it. Adjustments. Right! Jorgamo! Goodness me, man! What is that finish?
What an outrageous way to eject the former carry of Evil Geniuses and stamp your mark of authority upon the match.
There's no way.
I can't believe what he's done.
There's no way.
With knives and a bucky?
I mean, that's a VALORANT trailer moment. He's working the man in the neutral to finish map 1. NRG's map pick. Jorgamo. My God, I'm speechless.
He's dropped 23 kills in 19 rounds. Almost got 400 ACS. I literally, what was the reason that he wasn't playing Jet on the old EG team? It's crazy.
Man, when he's got it like that, it's just insanity.
But I also want to point out that the defense for NRG just gave EG so much more room. There was such a massive macro difference between how these two teams were playing.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to be stepping away, taking a bit of a breather after that one. Exhilarating finish. But the Analyst Desk is going to be breaking it all down. Map number 1.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through Attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle. You're going to be able to fight this.
Red Bull gives you wings.